All right, welcome back. Sitting down now with Jeff Garcia, former NFL quarterback. Played, let's go down the list.
You don't have to go down the list too far.
But you won a Grey Cup. You won a Grey Cup in the Canadian Football League. Played at San Jose State, also with the Niners. Most people know you from that. Certainly you're going to be at Joey's Tavern, Craig Road, and 95 tomorrow night for the final Niners game of the season, the Monday Night Football game, at least. So let's go back, way back if we can, in the Wayback Machine in the early 90s. You playing UNLV, playing here in Las Vegas out at Sam Boyd. I'm pointing to Sam Boyd Stadium. Out there, that direction, Sam Boyd Stadium.
That's right. Part of the Big West Conference back in the day.
Big West, yeah.
And actually, my first start at home, though, in San Jose was against the Running Rebels.
Oh, okay.
And it was a great start for me. But we also had games out here in Las Vegas. I think they got me when we played out here in Las Vegas the one time. But, you know, we always had competitive games against UNLV and the rest of the Big West opponents back in the day.
No, it was a fun conference back then, of course, Mountain West now. But you there with Steve Young and your experience with the Niners, good times.
A great experience. I grew up a Bay Area fan. Niners, Raiders, growing up in a small town, Gilroy, about 70 miles from Oakland, 70 miles from San Francisco, and watching Joe Montana, watching Ken Stabler, the Snake, as a kid. I mean, these guys were my idols, my heroes, so to speak. And to be able to then step on that field and represent the 49ers, I mean, it was a childhood dream come true for me.
You had a chance to bat. You mentioned Steve Young. You go to San Francisco. Steve Young's there. He gets hurt. You step in. Things have kind of worked out well for you in a sense of opportunity. You've been opportunistic.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And it's funny because that's something that I was one time introduced after a guy said, when I talked to Jeff's teammates, what depicts Jeff about what is it about Jeff that you see in him? And the guy is just opportunistic. You know, when the opportunities presented themselves, it was like you got to be prepared to strike at that time. I backed up Doug Flutie in the Canadian Football League. He became a Hall of Famer up there, as well as an NFL player, elite college player, obviously. And when my opportunity presented itself up there, I took it and I ran with it. Same thing when Steve got unfortunately injured on Monday night game. Now, that was a little bit different learning curve for me. It was my first year there with the Niners. I was still learning the system, got thrown to the wolves, so to speak, with a team that was going through some changes, and I had some struggles in that first year, but came back that second year. I set an all-purpose or a single season passing yardage record for the Niners in that 2000 season, and that held for 20 plus years until Brock Purdy broke it this past season last year. But you know what? Those were the opportunities that we talk about that I share with young people when I coach them up now as far as life is concerned. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of opportunities in your life, but are you prepared for the opportunity when it presents itself? And I think that mental and physical preparation that I always took very seriously in preparing myself allowed me to take advantage of it when it did present itself.
Okay, you're a West Coast guy, live in San Diego now, but from the Bay Area, as you mentioned right there. What about let's talk a little bit about the Bay Area. What's going on with the Raiders? When the Raiders first moved to Las Vegas, what were your thoughts? And then also the Oakland Athletics are going to be coming here before too long.
Well, as a Bay Area guy, you just feel bad for the city of Oakland. I mean, they've gone through so many losses throughout the decades of that city being there. I mean, to lose the Raiders, now they're losing the A's. They lost the Warriors a few years ago, who just moved across the bay, but still they lost their teams. And anytime you lose a professional franchise, living in San Diego now, and I have kids that have grown up as Charger fans, and the Chargers move out of San Diego to LA. So, you know, that's a hard thing for the local fans and people to accept. But the fact of the matter is that Oakland was not developing the stadiums, not developing just the positive experience that people wanted to have when attending a professional sporting event. And so they looked at other cities, and Las Vegas became a perfect fit and it's growing in its own professional franchises with now baseball coming here in a couple years. Obviously, hockey is killing it here, professional women's basketball, all the things that have really started to materialize here in this city, hosting the Super Bowl last year, which I thought was probably the greatest city of all the country to host a Super Bowl, because everything happens within a 5-mile radius of the city. You don't have to go far outside in order to have where you're staying, the venues to host the parties, all the things. So it was really a great thing that, hey, the NFL has now moved into Las Vegas, NBA, all the things are starting to look this direction, and why not? It's the most happening city in the country.
It is indeed. We're going to have more of Jeff in just a moment. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this.